Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar. My name is Ariel and I'm the Corporate Secretariat Executive at Premia TNC Malaysia. I'm so delightful to be here with you today. Today, we would like to focus on topics which are related to Malaysia company formation and maintenance. We are going to walk you through types of Malaysia business and companies, incorporation of Malaysia company, opening of bank account, general statutory filing requirement, and annual general meeting. A quick reminder before we get started, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box on the right column. Our colleagues will gather and organize all your questions. Submit them now and we shall answer later when it is the Q&A section. If at any chance we have omitted your questions, we will reply you with our answer via email after the webinar. Now, let's start our webinar. Our first topic will be the types of Malaysia business and companies. There are many types of companies and business in Malaysia. The common type of business and company in Malaysia are sole proprietorship, partnership, private limited company, public limited company, unlimited company, foreign company, and limited liability partnership. Choosing from the business entities in Malaysia is an important step during the formation process. Before officially setting up your business, you must decide on the type of company that is most suitable for your business objectives. It is important that you understand the differences of business structures in Malaysia, as choosing the wrong entity could lead to problems occurring in the future. You should choose the type of business that best matches with your company's objective, number of officers, and industry. In this webinar, we will brief you on the types of companies and business in Malaysia. The first type of business is sole proprietorship. A sole proprietorship is one of the simplest types of company to set up. The sole proprietorship requires only one owner and his or her liability is unlimited. Personal income or asset of the owner will not be protected if the company is declared bankrupt or in debt. Only Malaysian citizens and permanent residents can register this entity. You will have to pay an annual fee to Companies Commission of Malaysia, which is also known as Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia SSM, to keep the sole proprietorship renewed. This type of entity does not need to submit audits or carry out annual filing. Another type of business is partnership. A partnership has two or more owners and have a maximum of 20 owners. These partners combine their resources to carry out business with the goal of generating profit. Partnerships are suitable for professional firms such as auditors and lawyers. Only Malaysian citizens and permanent residents are allowed to register partnerships. The partnerships agreements outline the responsibility and liabilities of each partner. The business partners share the profits and liabilities of the company. Therefore, the business is not required to pay any tax, but the partners will be taxed as individuals and have to report their profit and losses. One of the common type of companies is private limited company, which is also known as Sendirian Berhad in Malaysia. A private limited company is a separate legal entity from its owner, meaning that it can buy or sell property, enter legal contract, and sue or get sued in the courts. The owners are liable only to the amount they have contributed to the company, and their personal assets or wealth will be left untouched if something happens to the company. Also, private limited company is the most common type of entity for foreign investors. The shares of this type of entity are issued to the individuals or corporate bodies. Foreigners are permitted to own 100% of the company. However, for some industry, they will need 50% Malaysian ownership. This industry includes agriculture, banking, education, oil and gas. To establish a private limited company, you will need a minimum of 1 member and a maximum of 50 members. Another common type of companies is public limited company, which also known as Berhad in Malaysia. A public limited company is similar to a private limited company, but the shares of the public limited company can be offered to the public. Public limited companies are usually listed on the stock exchange and it's governed by the Securities Commission of Malaysia. This entity must have a minimum of 2 shareholders and the number of members is unlimited. The public limited company must hold annual general meetings and make reports on their financial statements. There are 2 types of public limited companies in Malaysia. One is the company limited by share and another one is the company limited by guarantee. The liability of the members of company limited by shares is limited to amount contributed on their shares. If the company goes into liquidation or in debt, the members do not have to pay for the company. A company limited by guarantee is mostly used for non-profit companies such as charities, clubs, or societies. Profit gain from the company will not be distributed to the members of the company. However, profits will be reinvested into the company. Next, an unlimited company provides unlimited liability to the members and shareholders. If there is any loss of the company is in debt, the members and shareholders will be personally responsible. It may change to a limited company in the case that they pass a special resolution and lodge a notice for conversion with the SSM. Foreign companies also can set up their branch and office in Malaysia, such as representative office and foreign branch office. Foreign companies that want to increase their market and understanding of the Malaysian business environment can set up a representative office. A representative office does not have an independent legal standing in Malaysia. Therefore, the parent company is responsible for the debts and liabilities. It is restricted to gathering or analyzing information, studying the business opportunity in the Malaysian market, plan business activities, conduct research and product development, and act as a coordination center for the cooperation agents in the region. The representative office cannot engage in any business activities that will generate profit, business transaction, cannot sign or enter any contract, sign deals, or undertake any trading activities. As for foreign branch office, it is not a separate legal entity and is an extension of the foreign parent company. The foreign parent company is liable and responsible for all the debts of the branch in Malaysia. The activities of a branch office must be the same as the foreign parent company, and a branch is suitable for foreign companies that want to expand their business to Malaysia for a short-term basis. There must be at least one person residing in Malaysia to act as the branch authorized agent. The branch must also register with the SSM before being incorporated in Malaysia. Lastly, a limited liability partnerships combines the characteristic of partnership and a company. It is a body corporate and is a separate legal entity from its partners. On the other hand, limited liability partnerships provides asset protection to its partners if the company goes bankrupt or in debt. It also has less compliance requirements compared to other business entities and is more affordable. This entity is suitable for small companies or startups. After gaining some understanding on the types of Malaysia business and company, we will brief you on the incorporation of Malaysia company, specifically private limited company, Sendirian Berhad. In general, there are 3 types of company that can be incorporated in Malaysia, which is company limited by shares, company limited by guarantee, and unlimited company. All these have few common features including a name, as well as one or more members and company directors. But most of the common type is a company limited by shares. If such a limited company has at least one director who has a principal place of residence in Malaysia and one promoter, it is a private limited company. or locally known as Sendirian Berhad. In terms of requirement, all the information listed here needed for the business registration of any of these companies in Malaysia, such as proposed company name, either a private or public company, proposed business type, registered office address, business address, a minimum paid-up capital of RM1, details of directors and promoters, declaration from directors and promoters, declarations of companies' compliance from individuals responsible for the incorporation, and any other additional documents. After the company is registered, the company must appoint a company secretary who ordinarily has a principal place of residence in Malaysia within 30 days of incorporation. He or she must either be licensed by SSM or a member of a professional organization prescribed by the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs. Subsequently, you have to submit your audited financial statement within 6 months from the financial year end. Usually, bank account will be opened after a company is incorporated. Corporate bank accounts in Malaysia are also known as a current account, and these accounts offer special facilities that other bank accounts do not. You may enjoy foreign banking, issue check, and overdraft services after open bank account. Here are the basic requirements for opening bank account in Malaysia. The process of opening a corporate bank account in Malaysia is relatively straightforward once you have all the documents and bank requirements prepared. Opening an account in Malaysia could take a couple of weeks depending on the bank and how much the investigation the bank must carry out. The process might take even longer if you are not physically in Malaysia. Therefore, we always recommend our client being present in Malaysia. Next, you may need to take note on the statutory filing requirement after your company is incorporated. There are few general statutory filing requirements need to be complied by the companies. Companies must submit to the SSM an annual return for each calendar year. It is due within 30 days from the anniversary of its registration or incorporation date in Malaysia. A company and every officer who contravene this section commit an offence. If a company fails to lodge an annual return for 3 or more consecutive years, the registrar may strike a company off the register. Also, the financial statement must be audited before being sent to every member of the company. Every person who is entitled to receive the notice of general meetings, every auditor of the company, and every debenture holder of the company. For public companies, the financial statement should be sent to every member previously stated and presented at the annual general meeting. If a director violates this requirement, the director could be fined not more than 500,000 ringgit or imprisonment of not exceeding 1 year or both. Lastly, we would like to highlight on the Annual General Meeting of Malaysia Companies. Under the Companies Act 2016, the requirement for Annual General Meeting for private companies has been done away with. This means that a private company is no longer required to hold Annual General Meeting in every calendar year. All meetings of a private companies are known as meeting of members. However, public companies still required to conduct annual general meeting every year within 18 months from its incorporation date and subsequently not more than 15 months after the holding of last preceding annual general meeting. Our presentation has come to the end. We hope you have understood something about Malaysia. Let's move to the Q&A section now. What are the requirements to incorporate a private limited company? To incorporate a company in Malaysia, you will need a resident director and a local residential address. The minimum payout capital is RM1. We will attend to the live question now. Can anyone be a director of the company? Yes. Anyone above 18 years old, either you are a local or a foreigner, You can be a director of the company so long as he or she fulfills the requirements under the Companies Act 2016. How long does it take to incorporate a company? The average time taken to complete the entire registration process is 7 days. But with your cooperation, we can do it faster. It depends on whether you have provided sufficient and clear details and the service hours of the SSM. Does the company secretary need to be resident? Yes, there is a requirement that the authorized company secretary have resident status in Malaysia. This is one of the reasons we offer a full company secretary service. So we hope that you have benefited from this webinar. It is the end of the webinar. Feel free to contact us if you have other questions. Premia TNC headquarters is located in Hong Kong. Beside Malaysia, we also have offices located in Singapore, Taiwan, Vietnam, and South Korea. If you are interested to know more about this jurisdiction, please check out our future webinars. Thank you for your time, and we hope to see you again at the next webinar. Goodbye.